Season 19 of Sister Wives is rapidly becoming less about family unity and more about untangling a web of property, past decisions, and buried frustrations. Fans have noticed the series has slowed to a crawl, with long drawn-out scenes, including painting picnic tables, and flashbacks dominating episodes. Yet beneath the filler lies a storm, and it's all about money, land, and trust. First up, the infamous Coyote Pass. After years of tension, Janelle and Mary are finally confronting what many fans have suspected for a long time. The division of the land isn't nearly as fair or straightforward as they thought. In confessional interviews, Mary quietly admitted she often sat back and didn't want to ruffle feathers, even when things didn't seem quite right. Now, with hindsight, she's questioning whether she should have been asking tougher questions all along. Janelle isn't mincing words either. She flatly stated, "We're not a family anymore. This is just a business deal gone bad." She and Mary are now hiring attorneys to ensure the Coyote Pass land gets divided properly, and that they each get their fair share. Meanwhile, Kody's emails have suggested complicated land divisions and even selling some pieces, moves that many see as stalling tactics. Janelle pointed out that Kody and Robyn already bought a new $2 million mansion elsewhere, so the idea that they're still planning to build at Coyote Pass seems increasingly unlikely. Fans were stunned when Kody claimed he paid for 92% of a lot himself, trying to minimize what the others contributed. But Janelle and Mary remembered differently. Family money was used, and they all believed it was a shared investment. The contradictions have left viewers wondering just how long plans had been in motion to consolidate control over the property. On the emotional side, Mary and Janelle are now realizing that some of the financial decisions over the years might not have been as transparent as they believed. There's a growing sense that, intentionally or not, they were left vulnerable. Meanwhile, Christine finally has a new storyline. She and her fiancé David are working on an errand project, and David had a unique decorating idea, a shrimp room. Yes, an entire room themed after cocktail shrimp. While fans joked about it online, Christine gamely agreed, calling it shrimp room-ish, although as of now, it's basically just a pink blanket. And then there's Robyn, opening up about her past like never before. She revealed that before her father married her mother, he was a family friend. And yes, she used to call him Uncle Paul. These family connections may explain why the Browns ended up moving to Las Vegas years ago, a move that has always puzzled longtime viewers. Many are now wondering, was the Vegas relocation partly about being closer to Robyn's extended family? As the financial unraveling continues, fans are bracing for more bombshells. Mary and Kristen have teased upcoming books, and if the show is any hint, those stories might reveal even more about the years they stayed silent, and what they now see with clear eyes. One thing's certain, the Sister Wives world may never hung heavy over Flagstaff, as the cameras started rolling for what TLC producers whispered would be the most shocking Sister Wives episode ever filmed. Mary, Christine, and Janelle sat side by side on stiff wooden chairs in Mary's newly remodeled bed and breakfast, their faces solemn. The old friendship bracelets they once wore together had long been replaced by heavy truths, weighing them down more than jewelry ever could. Kody Brown, their once shared husband, was nowhere in sight, but his shadow loomed larger than ever. The bombshell had dropped just days earlier. Kody had allegedly drained secret bank accounts tied to each of the women's businesses, siphoning off thousands over the course of years. TLC cameras had caught murmurs of it before, but now, with lawyers involved in depositions flying, the story could no longer be buried under the usual family struggles narrative. "We trusted him," Janelle said flatly, her hands clenched in her lap. We thought he was managing everything for the good of the family. Turns out it was only for the good of himself. Mary nodded slowly, her gaze heavy. "And Robyn," she added, her voice nearly a whisper. "Always Robyn." A flashback clip rolled, Mary painting the walls of her inn a soft, hopeful sage green years earlier, full of dreams of financial independence. Now it seemed almost cruel. The scene had gone viral, not for its simplicity, but for the raw symbolism. Mary, carefully brushing coat after coat of paint over the cracks, left behind by betrayal. People said it was boring, Christine said with a mirthless laugh, referencing the infamous paint drying scene. But if they'd known what was really happening in the background, if they knew Kody was already bleeding us dry, they'd have realized it wasn't paint drying. It was trust drying. These showscaking revelations. Court documents, leaked by an anonymous source, revealed that Kody had quietly assumed ownership of LLCs and business entities that Mary, Janelle, and even Kristen had painstakingly built over the years. Mary's inn, mortgaged under a trust he controlled. Janelle's fitness coaching venture, the bank account rerouted. Christine's cooking blog and online store, revenue redirected through dummy corporations. All while Robyn's boutique, the notoriously unsuccessful My Sister Wife's Closet, continued to hemorrhage money, with Kody covering losses by shuffling family funds around like a desperate street magician. It wasn't just financial abuse, Janelle said fiercely. It was emotional manipulation, too. Every time we questioned the accounts, Kody would accuse us of being disloyal to the family vision. Mary, staring into the camera, added, "And when we finally had the courage to leave, we realized he left us with almost nothing." The INFFAMOUS, paint drying, revisited. The producers, sensing the cultural weight of it all, spliced in a slow-motion replay of the original paint-drying footage. Mary alone in a room, methodically stroking a roller across the cracked walls, the green color struggling to cover a stain beneath. Viewers now saw it differently. The once-mock scene became a canvas for betrayal, each brushstroke a silent scream. In a surprising move, the network aired an extended, director's cut of the painting session. This time with a voiceover from Mary herself. "I thought if I made the walls beautiful enough, he would come back," she said softly over the footage. "I thought if I worked hard enough, smiled brightly enough, sacrificed enough, he'd see me, love me, protect me." The paint roller moved back and forth, hypnotically, rhythmically, an act of hope, or perhaps of futility. Where is Kody? Officially, Kody remained silent. Unofficially, insiders said he was holed up at Robyn's house, consulting crisis managers and drafting public statements. Robyn, still portrayed by some as the favorite wife, was reportedly furious behind the scenes. Not because of the financial scandal, but because she claimed Kody had ruined their brand. Quietly deactivated its Instagram account just hours after the court documents were leaked. Sources close to production revealed that TLC executives had considered pulling the plug on the show altogether, until they realized viewership had skyrocketed since the scandal broke. "We thought the drama was over," one producer admitted. Turns out, the real story was just beginning. The women fight back. The second half of the episode focused on the women reclaiming their narratives. Christine, already remarried to her new husband David Woolley, offered words of defiant hope. "I lost money," she said, "but I gained my freedom. You can rebuild your finances. You can't rebuild years wasted living under someone else's thumb." Janelle, who had once proudly championed financial independence, even within plural marriage, announced she was launching a new coaching series aimed at helping women escape financially manipulative relationships. And Mary, strong, scarred, and startlingly serene, revealed she was starting a memoir. Tentatively titled Coats of Paint, My Life in Layers, it would chronicle not only her marriage to Kody, but her rebirth from the ashes of it. I used to think the worst thing that could happen was losing Kody, Miri said in a confessional. Now I know, the worst thing was losing myself. And I'm done with that. Final Shakesy K. The Paint. In one last gut punch of storytelling genius, the producers returned to the inn where Mary had painted years before. This time, Miri held a paint scraper in her hand. With deliberate movements, she peeled back a piece of that sage green paint, revealing the original battered wall underneath. The scars, the stains, all of it laid bare. She looked straight at the camera, eyes steady, voice clear. You can't just paint over the damage, she said. You have to tear it down and rebuild it the right way. The final shot lingered on Mary, standing proudly against the raw, exposed wall. Imperfect, cracked, but utterly real. Fade to black. Audience reaction. Fans flooded social media with a wave of support for the women. This is the real story we needed, one viewer wrote on X, formerly Twitter. Not the perfect plural family lie. This. Watching paint dry has never been so powerful, another commented. Miri's upcoming memoir soared to number 2 on Amazon pre-orders within 24 hours of the episode airing, while Janelle's new financial coaching platform crashed from traffic overload. As for Kody, rumors swirled that he might soon find himself not in a new TLC special, but in a very different setting, a courtroom. EPILOGV. Behind the scenes, a new chapter was already being written, not just for Mary, Janelle, and Christine, but for viewers who saw in them a reflection of their own battles, trusting too much, losing too much, surviving anyway. In the end, it wasn't the paint drying that mattered. It was what lay beneath it, and the courage it took to face it, crack by crack, brushstroke by brushstroke, until the truth stood exposed. And maybe, just maybe, ready to be remade.